Welcome to the Eat Your Elephant podcast. This podcast is here to help you to conquer your big goals. Because the big things in your life that you want to accomplish and achieve, they're going to take more than one step. And this podcast is here to help you develop the right mindset, to take the actions, to keep moving forward and making progress towards your big goals. That way, you can guide your life to go in the direction that you want it to go and enjoy it too. I'm your host, Nick Mazie. Let's get started. Well, hello there. Welcome. Glad you're here today on the Eat Your Elephant podcast. Let's dive right into today's episode. You check your blind spots, right? Have you ever been driving? You go to change lanes, and that moment, that split second before you actually go into that next lane, you see a car there that you didn't see before. You even looked over your shoulder, you looked in the mirror, but you didn't see it. It was there the whole time, though. There was a car, and you almost got into a terrible wreck because you didn't see it. Now, how did that happen? You're a good driver. You know what you're doing. You even looked. You maybe even looked twice. Well, the other vehicle, it was just in your blind spot. Every vehicle has blind spots. That particular place around the vehicle, that's very, very difficult to see if something's there. Now, it's very easy for a car to hide in a blind spot, and not be seen at all. That hiding vehicle is there even if we can't see it. So what's all this talking about vehicles and blind spots have to do with making improvements and achieving goals? What this podcast is all about? Well, just like a vehicle, just like my car, I have blind spots. There's some areas of my life that are tough for me to see. And it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong, deficient, or broken. It's just an area of life, of myself, that's difficult for me to see myself. And that's just me. I can't see everything about me. So what do I need to do? Well, I need to ask for help with my blind spots. I have to make sure that I'm checking in, with people that know me, that are close to me, that are willing to be accurate and honest and sometimes a little bit brutal with me. That way, I can learn the things that I need to change that I've missed. And that way, I can make the changes that I want, make the improvements that I want. Now, before you go off and start thinking that this is some rosy, fun, wonderful thing to do, let me go ahead and be a little honest with you. It's not. When I hear things that I'm doing that I just don't notice, because they're the things that I've always done in a certain way, and that's just how my perspective is, and I'm missing, whatever this is that I really should be changing because it's sitting there in my blind spot, it tends not to be the most positive things. Because I'm not doing them intentionally. It's just something about my personality or how behaviors that I've developed have come about. And hearing about what I do unintentionally, sometimes that can sting a little bit. Sometimes it's not fun and it's not pleasant to hear about it. But being told about my blind spots, just because it's not a fun thing, it can be a really, really good thing. Because above and beyond it being pleasant in the moment, it's well worth it. It's often the exact things that we don't want to do, the things we don't want to hear about, that make us a little bit uncomfortable. It's often those exact things that are going to get us to where we want to go. By being able to make the adjustments on the unpleasant things, you can make the improvements that you want and to be a better person. And that's what I want for me. And if you're listening to this podcast, then if this podcast is for you, then that same thing can be true for you too. It's those little bit of unpleasant things that we miss, that we don't know that we're doing, that fall under our radar, that are in our blind spot, that when we can address those things, that's when we really can make some improvements and better ourselves and be able to make the changes that we want to have the life that we want. I don't want to leave things in my blind spots that aren't good, that are things that I could change and improve just because it's not so pleasant to talk about them and find out about them. Self-improvement, it is a great thing. It really can be. And in order to really improve myself, sometimes I need that little bit of an outside perspective. Sometimes I need some help. And a little bit of help can be just from a viewpoint of somebody else, somebody from the outside, someone that's not, in my head and from my perspective. Just a little bit of their viewpoint can help me to become a better person in the ways that I want to be. I need someone to tell me the things that I'm missing. So what about you? What do you think? It's up to you if you want to do this. But is there somebody in your life that knows you well, that spends time with you, that you really can trust? Is there someone who would honestly and accurately give you just a little bit of feedback on some of the areas that you might want to improve that you're missing? Like I said, it's not the most fun and enjoyable thing, but the payoff, those benefits that you get, to be able to improve in the areas that you want, to make the adjustments that you want for your life and make the improvements, those are things that you can carry with you. Those benefits and improvements you get to carry with you for the rest of your life. And there are ways that you can make the adjustments and changes, and enjoy your life. That's a huge payoff. It does take a little bit of effort, but like most good things in life, you got to do the work. The work might not be pleasant, but the rewards and the benefits are worth it. So if you're up for it, if you want those benefits, then ask somebody to help you to check your blind spots. Well, thanks for listening to the Eat Your Elephant podcast. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'm starting to try to publish the podcast episodes on other mediums. If you like YouTube, you can find episodes at nickmazy.com/YT and listen to episodes right there on YouTube. Or you can search for Eat Your Elephant podcast on Facebook, and you can listen to episodes on that Facebook page too. If you enjoy this podcast, please share it with somebody. That way they may be able to get some benefit out of it too. Well, thanks for listening. Take care, and I'll talk to you again soon.